All right. Good morning, David. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, Lauren?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for meeting with Jenna and I this morning. I wanted to take some time and kind of have you talk me through some of the previous experience that you have. So I heard you mention that you were in the military. Can you talk to me a little bit about what you did during your time with them?
Sure. When I was in the Navy, I was a fire control technician, which means that I worked on maintaining and operating the weapon systems on board the ships. Back when I was in, we had only two classes of weapon system, missile and gun. And my primary job was working on the servo systems and radar for the Standard Missile.
Okay. And how long were you in the military for?
3 years.
Okay. So, going back to some of your experience here, you were an engineering technician for quite some time. What did your day-to-day operation look like there?
I did a lot of uh, testing, troubleshooting, and repair, as well as assembly of um, UHF-based wireless modems. That meant a lot of soldering of both surface mount and through-hole components, different packages for the chips that were used in both the digital and the RF side of the modem, and that's a lot of what I did. Tuning antennas as well for custom for the clients. Sometimes their need required a high gain antenna, so I'd have to tune that, and that was primarily what I did as an engineering technician for Monocore.
Okay.
Then when I was Go ahead.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
And then I also did a lot of uh, upgrading of RF, the RF side of wireless telemetry systems that were used in hospitals, and that required um, soldering or desoldering, removal, cleaning, and then resoldering of all surface mount packages in the telemetry transmitters.
Okay. And just because I'm not super familiar, is this part of the aviation side? Is that like that industry, or is there a different industry that this is in?
This was in the medical industry, but the
Okay.
reason I mention it is because, like in aviation, there's what are known as avionics,
Hmm.
and there's a lot of microelectronics used in both aviation and wireless communication on that side, with like TCAS and these different systems that communicate with, for instance, the tower, air traffic control, and
Hmm.
whatnot. And in medical, we serviced um, the wireless systems for monitoring patients. But electronics is electronics, and when you're dealing with microelectronics and surface mount technology, what you could do in medical, you could do in aerospace or aviation.
Okay. And then most recently, you were with Viking Pure Solutions for a couple years, and you were handling quality control there. And it looks like you were kind of like a products manager as well. So, what did you do there?
Um, Quality testing, troubleshooting, repair of small electromechanical devices like solenoids for controlling water flow, and um, the equipment that I worked on was for processing saline solution, salt water, and converting it into hypochlorous acid and sodium hydroxide for institutional use. Um, but I worked in many aspects of the business. We worked with engineering also, because we had to improve on the processes used for uh, assembly, um, quality along the way before it went out to the customer, and then you know also tracking the quality, or tracking issues that came back from the clients. And like I said, ultimately finding that the majority of the problems were we had to use different. We had to improve on the electromechanical side, as a matter of fact, for the electrolyzing unit. We call them generators, electrolyzing generators. Basically, it used a lot of current to strip or break down the bonds in the saline solution, and then ultimately reprocess it and convert it to the usable solutions. But I worked with the PLC, which is a programmable logic controller, which controlled the electromechanical side of the processor,
Okay.
and then repaired the electromechanical side as well, which were mostly pumps and solenoids. Nothing fancy.
Okay. So moving forward into your next position, what is important to you?
Growth, learning, bringing what I have to the table, a different way of looking at things, which has in the past always produced some sort of new way, or ultimately it gave my employer something that they never looked at and actually helped in either quality or manufacturing, whatnot. But I love aviation, and what can I say? I follow it a lot. Um, I've I have a lot to bring to the table, and like I said, most importantly, I want to learn and I want to really grow. I want a lot of opportunity. I want to be able to contribute and do what I do best in a field that's my favorite.
Sure. Perfect. All right. Well, that's good. I'm going to go ahead and end this recorded section of this video, and you can hang tight and we'll kind of chat with you a little bit after. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.